I was friends with the crew, personal friends. I was very lucky in that regard. Dick Scobie, the commander, I'd known Dick for many years, knew him when he flew his first shuttle mission, also aboard the Challenger. He was the pilot that took Sally Ride to orbit for the first American woman to go to space. He also was the man who was kind enough to write a recommendation to NASA that I get to be the first reporter in space after Christa McAuliffe had blazed the trail as the teacher in space. Judy Resnick, right next to him, a beautiful woman, a concert pianist, brilliant woman with a wicked sense of humor. She and I were among some people who were asked to judge a gumbo contest near Johnson Space Center. There were a lot of Cajuns there. And we had a gumbo contest, and JR, as we all called her, JR came up with the BS factor. Now, I'm not talking about what we're hearing in the presidential campaign. I'm talking about what you find in a baby's diaper. Because some gumbo, yeah. There were some we didn't taste because Judy came up with a good BS scale for us. El Anazuka, good friend. We'd occasionally go drink a beer together. El looked at every Miller Lite, that's all he ever drank. He looked at every Miller Lite and he said, 45 minutes in the gym. It's tough being Japanese, everything makes you fat. Ron McNair. Ron flew with us on the zero-G plane. And Jimmy and I worked with him on how to shoot video in zero gravity. It's not easy. But we worked on how to do it, and Ron really wanted to know. He was a great student because on this flight, he was going to shoot IMAX film of Christa McAuliffe's flight. And then Christa. What a wonderful woman she was. She was so friendly, so humble, so bright, interesting and entertaining. Got to know her when she was training at Johnson Space Center. Introduced her to the joys of Polly's Polynesian right across the street from Johnson Space Center, where we'd go have mediocre lunches and tell great stories. She'd give me a hard time because those blue suits that they wore, you know, they had to wear diapers under them. Okay? And she'd say, "Don't take my picture when I'm walking away. Makes my butt look big." Christa, you think it's the diaper? Loved her. It's a lot of fun. I did the last interview with Christa. Christa, you're going to do lessons from space. You're going to teach kids from all around the country. What is it you hope that they learn? Well, I'll tell you, what I hope they learn is to be willing to take chances. I hope they learn to be willing to try things, even if they think it is not going to work, even if they think they don't have a chance. I mean, I never thought that I'd be standing here today talking to you about how tomorrow I'm going to get aboard that shuttle and I'm going to fly into space. I never thought that would have happened, but here I am. And the only reason I'm here is because I took a chance. Even though the odds were against me, I thought, what the heck, I'm going to try it, I'm going to give it my best. Because you know what? You don't learn you cannot control what happens to you. You cannot control the circumstances you're in. You can only control how you respond to them. And that determines what happens, and who knows the consequences that you can create if you just try. We know what happened 24 hours later. And it's a tough thing to deal with, especially for all of us who knew them. But I want to suggest something to you. This is a point where you would reasonably expect me to say, I'd like for us all to take a moment, have some silence, to remember the memory of these wonderful people who sacrificed so much and gave their all for our country and for the future. But I'm not going to do that. What I want you to think about is what Christa said. You never know where it may lead. Where did it lead? 5 days after the Challenger exploded In June Scobie's living room, the families were all sitting trying to decide what to do in their grief and their pain and their shock. And what they decided to do was to continue the mission. They couldn't help the fact that NASA had blown up a spaceship. They couldn't help the fact that their loved ones were dead. But they could make sure that the mission that they were all dedicated to continued. And it did. This is the Challenger Center for Space Science Education. It's in more than 20 cities around the world. Students go there, junior high age, and they get to fly a mission in a real simulator. There's a ground control, there's a spaceship, they have issues that are presented, they have to appoint a captain, they have to solve problems that are presented unexpectedly, they have to go through procedures, they have to do scientific experiments, and what they learn along the way has done more to promote science, technology, engineering, and math than anything else that's been developed, in my opinion. They learn not just that it's fun and important, but that it's really cool. And they learn it not just here, but they learn it here. 4.4 million students and counting. That mission succeeded. So I want to ask you, instead of having a moment of silence, could we give them a round of applause?